Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Coming at you in the fourth quarter. Good guys up 37-14 on the New York Jets. Cowboys just get another one in the end zone. And there's 4.5 minutes left to go in this one. Cowboys in control. How about this defense showing out after being much maligned in the media over the first 4 weeks of the season? Great effort by them. Javonte Williams, another incredible day for the free agent pickup of probably, I would say, the entire NFL in 2025. Has there been a better free agent find than Javonte Williams in the entire NFL? You're just talking about the whole package, right? The value for the deal, the performance, the effort. I mean, look, there might be a couple out there, but in terms of impact, in terms of what you were expecting out of Javonte Williams, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I think for the value and for what you're getting on the field, it's better than I think any free agent out there. There were some free agents out there, big names that are still performing well. We're not talking about that. We're talking about guys that really weren't expected to do much of anything, were somewhat of an afterthought in free agency. Cowboys signed Javonte Williams on a 1-year deal. Bro's been killing it. Today, Williams, 16 carries, 135 yards. Are you kidding me? Tutty, and then through the air as well. Has a touchdown, 1 reception, 4 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Javonte Williams. Look, Dak has been playing great. I think Williams has been a bit of a savior early on for the Cowboys in this offense, especially with CeeDee Lamb going down. Especially with Lamb going down, man. Good stuff. Right now, Cowboys trying to close this one out. You've got 2nd and 10 on the Dallas 41. Forgive me if I'm a little bit ahead or a little bit behind where you're at on the live feed. You got the Jets in hurry-up mode. Justin Fields spikes the ball. And you've got him now going to Garrett Wilson for a 12-yard gain. Incomplete pass to Lazard down the left side. Going to be 2nd and 10. Look, at this point, we're just garbage time. If you've got Garrett Wilson on the fantasy team, I'm sure you're wanting to see him eat up some yards here late. Justin Fields, 254 yards through the air. He's also run the ball a little bit, 7 carries for 26 yards. Breece Hall did go off today, 113 yards on 14 carries. Cowboys were just able to force some stops. You had, obviously, them making a big stop early on in the game, forcing the field goal in the first quarter. I thought that was huge. You had them force another field goal in the third quarter. Finally, they give up the touchdown to make it a 2-score game, 30-14. Cowboys able to punch it right back, though. Incredible to me, absolutely incredible to me that the Cowboys were dogs coming into this ball game. Brad, what's good, man? Good to see you, brother. Go Cowboys, yes, sir. I can't even believe that the Cowboys were dogs coming into this game. It makes little to no sense to me. The Cowboys were plus 1.5 coming into this one. I do not even understand that. Plus 1.5? How were the Cowboys underdogs coming into this ball game? You know that they had to see that last night, yesterday, Friday. I think Friday even they were dogs. Like, you know, the Cowboys had to see that and say, bro, what? What? Underdogs against the winless Jets. I wish I was lying. I wish I was lying. They were underdogs against the winless Jets, according to Vegas. Now, look, Vegas obviously is trying to create a line that's enticing to bet. So I don't know if it's fair to say that, you know, the people out here in my neck of the woods thought that the Jets were actually going to win this game. But it did just strike me as extremely odd that the Cowboys were not favored in this one. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Thank you so much. Flournoy, absolutely impressive today. J-Mac, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the comment. Yeah, Flournoy stepping up in CeeDee's absence. You had Javonte. You had Flournoy. Look, George Pickens had a nice touchdown, a 43-yard touchdown. And look, what can we say about Dak Prescott? Except just incredibly incredibly positive things. This man has come out on fire, on a mission to start this 2025 season. I think at this point, we are getting very close to having a top 5 conversation this year. This year. Based on play on the field this year, I think we are getting very close to having that conversation. In fact, we might already be there. I don't know that you can name me 5 quarterbacks that have had a better start to 2025 than Dak Prescott. I don't know if you can name them right now. I'd love to go through it. I'm going to after the show and really look at, are there 5 quarterbacks that have had a better start to 2025 than Dak Prescott? I really don't believe so. I feel like you will go through it and you will find Dak is among the top 5 easily. Isn't he leading the league in passing yards? Isn't Dak leading the league in passing right now? I don't know what happened after today's results, but I thought he was leading the league in passing coming into this one. And he adds on 237 yards today and another 29 on the ground. Hey, Big D51, appreciate the gifts, brother. Appreciate those gifts. Dak is absolutely making me feel better as well, Bennett. Colby, it's good to see you, my guy. I'm very surprised the Longhorns are not ranked. I mean, look, if you're just watching the show for the first time, I'm sure you're going to jump on that and start trolling. But look, the Longhorns, like it or not, they are favored in the media. They always get hyped up by media. They're that classic team that's always probably a little bit better ranked than they should be. And I can be honest about that as a lifelong Longhorns fan. Sometimes they are overranked. And so I just thought to myself, you know what, Florida, they came into the season pretty solidly ranked and pretty solidly expected to do well. I just kind of figured Texas is probably going to be 24th, 25th. They'll still be in the top 25. Look, it doesn't matter. It's not really that big of a deal. The fact that they're not ranked really holds no bearing. You beat Oklahoma, you're going to be ranked right away again. And look, I don't say that lightly, like beating Oklahoma is a foregone conclusion, but you beat Oklahoma, you beat the teams that are ahead of you, you're going to be just fine. Penn State, is Penn State still ranked? Is Penn State still ranked? Jeez. If that's the case, wow. I don't understand that. Penn State still being ranked, but Texas isn't? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Nah, I wouldn't fire Sark, Chris. I think that's a little bit of a hot take for sure. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, my guy. If the boys had a defense, we'd be great. Look, the defense showed up today. They showed up today. We got to give it to them. Good. Granted, I get we're playing the Jets. I get we are playing the Jets. So you don't even have to type it. Let me save you the comment. Save you the finger energy. I get it. We're playing the Jets. They haven't won a game yet. I will say this, and I'm going to go back to this a couple of times today. I mean, the Jets were expected, according to Vegas, to win this game. Now, look, a lot of us, I feel like, knew better. I mean, I took the Cowboys on the money line today, and look, I'm not any kind of big-time gambler by any means. I might throw $20 on a game here or there. That's about it. Look, I've learned my lessons living out here in Vegas as long as I have. You do not need to spend any solid amount of money betting on games. You really don't. I know some people will tell you differently. I'm not saying nobody can do it well, but $20 is about my limit. Maybe if I feel really good about something, I'll go 40. I'm not doing much beyond that. I'm not trying to lose money. I'll make my money different ways. But look, I don't understand Dallas being an underdog coming into this one. Really don't. Being unranked, Brian, I do think is going to light a little bit of a fire under them. Natalie, that is what was reported about Bochy, but I mean, look, until we get a sit-down interview with them, I don't know if we're going to know. We keep going. Hey, let's go Cowboys, baby. Yes, sir. Christian, yes, sir. Jeff, good game yesterday. Good game to you guys. Texas, man. I'm glad the Cowboys had this game today. I needed this game today after that awful game yesterday. Texas against Florida. Tried to flush that one out of my system. By the way, Justin Fields going to Garrett Wilson. Going to put 20 on the board here. So it's going to be 37-20. And I believe extra point or 2-point conversion incoming. I mean, you could kick the extra point here. You're down 16. No big deal. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Notre Dame and Florida State still ranked. Yeah, look, Texas dropping is a little bit confusing to me. But look, when does the committee come out with their official rankings? When does the committee come out? Is it like next week? Penn State fell out of the top 25 as well. So let's see. Let's see if there's any 2-loss teams that are in. Florida State is a 2-loss team. Notre Dame is a 2-loss team, and they're still in it. That does feel a little bit weird to me that those two teams, Notre Dame especially, still number 16 at 3-2. I don't know, y'all. It's why I'm not putting a ton of stock in this right now. The reality is you win the games that are in front of you. It's going to take care of itself. It's going to take care of itself. Saints beat the Giants. Nice. Giants, though, look, are we really shocked? They lost Neighbors. I mean, that offense, Jackson Dart or not, is not very dynamic without Neighbors. So I'm not surprised that they get knocked off. That's a brutal injury to Malik Neighbors. Brutal. I mean, look, I'm not crying in my beer about it. Obviously, I wish him the best, but that's a tough one for the Giants. Real tough one. I don't see a letdown game. Lakers and Dodgers, good to see you, man. I don't see a letdown game next week against Carolina. I think the Cowboys understand the wins this year are going to be at times difficult to come by. They've got some tough stretches. I think the Cowboys are going to take full advantage of some of these teams that they're playing that are subpar. I mean, look, you could have gone into New York against the Jets and had that mentality after a big game against Green Bay. I mean, look, if anything, Lakers-Dodgers, I would have said this game might have felt like a little bit of a letdown game or a trap game. You just tied with the Packers, kind of improbably, if you will. And then you go into New York against a winless team. Maybe they shock you. I don't think at all the Cowboys are going to go to Carolina and struggle. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game. I'm not saying it's going to look just like this one, but I would not be at all thinking the Cowboys, led by Dak Prescott, who's on fire right now, I don't think they're going to go into Carolina taking those guys lightly. I don't. How many safeties are out for the Cowboys? Hooker is out. Yeah, I'm not sure what else the injury report completely is, but they've definitely got some guys that are out. They've got some dudes that have been coming back. Deron Bland back. You know, Ravel is going to be, I think, Ravel is back today, right? Look, I got to be honest. I've been a little off and on with the game. A lot of family stuff going on Sundays. I know some of you guys can relate. On the injury report, Turpin was inactive. CeeDee Lamb, of course, inactive. Third and 11 right now, by the way, for the boys. We'll keep on checking on things. We got you. Injury report for the Cowboys at different points has been wild. Looks like a Rangers injury report for all my Rangers fans out there. The last 2 years, all of this stuff is just all the injuries. It's wild. It really is. Really is, man. Look, yeah, Deron Bland, speaking of, 7 total tackles today. Good to see him getting involved in the action. You also had, look, Shamar James, 15 total tackles. Thomas had 10. Donovan Wilson, 8 total tackles. Man, you had some guys flying around today. Lufau with a quarterback hit. You had Murray Jr. He had a quarterback hit, a pass deflection. You had a lot of guys on defense flying around. Love it. Absolutely love it. Look, I know it was against the Jets. I already said, let me save it to you. I've already said that out loud. So I know some people are trying to clap back real quick. I've already said out loud, it's the Jets. You got to show it. And next week against the Panthers, Cowboys aren't going to get any handouts either. Nobody's going to be giving you props for beating the Panthers and the Jets in back-to-back weeks. You got to do it against a legitimate opponent. But you can only play the teams that are in front of you. And it's not like we're going to ignore what happened today. It was a great win. Cowboys took care of business. They beat a winless team, as they should, especially after you have that showing against Green Bay. I don't think anybody is proclaiming a championship after watching the Cowboys win today at MetLife. But you know what? You're 2-1. You're playing the Panthers next weekend. You have a great opportunity to have a winning record by the end of that week. And then you do face some tougher competition from there. But as I said, you can only play the games that are in front of you. Cowboys can't control who they've got coming down the pike. That game against the Commanders is going to be a big one. After the Panthers, your Commanders hosting them at home. After the Commanders, you play the Broncos. That'll be another good test. And then you've got the Cardinals coming to Dallas as well. Cardinals have been a pretty good squad this year too. Then you've got a bye week, and then you got Raiders in Las Vegas, Monday Night Football. You've got some teams coming up that are going to challenge the Cowboys. I see some winnable games, even in that stretch of 4. I mean, I think the Panthers should be a win. And Cowboys, Broncos, Cardinals, I don't think Cowboys go undefeated, but I think the Cowboys can take 2 out of 3. I think they could find wins against the Commanders, the Cardinals, the Broncos. I think you can find 2 out of 3 wins in that mix. Great game today, though. Look, defense, I know they end up giving up 22. I mean, look, the score not quite indicative of the result of, of the results on the field and what you really saw most of the game. Garbage time allows New York, Cowboys playing a little bit softer, to score some points late. But really, this defense played incredible. Look, did not pick off Justin Fields, but forced a fumble on Breece Hall. I know there was a little bit of a questionable face mask that didn't get called there. I know some people were talking about it a little bit on X, but forced that big fumble, and you're able to take advantage of it. Javonte Williams, insane day from him. 16 carries, 135 yards, a tutty, 66-yard rush. Man, this guy's incredible. That was right before the half, too. A 66-yard run, man. Good stuff. Great stuff. Javonte has been a godsend. He really has. Averaged 8.4 yards per carry today. And like we said about Dak Prescott, I would say you're going to have a tough time finding 5 quarterbacks that have had a better start to 2025 than him. Let's keep on rolling. Cowboys did handle business today. Absolutely. Good to see you, my guy. Cowboys surely handled business today. Absolutely. Yeah, look, I think at this point, you'll take what you can get. No Hooker. Ravel, obviously, still making his way back. Overshown, still a few weeks away as well. The Cowboys have pieces coming back, and I think that's got to be encouraging. You know that they're going to get a little bit better when you get those guys back to full health. I'm not saying this becomes a top 1, top 2, top 3 defense, but I think this does become one of the better defenses in the league when fully healthy. I really do. Maybe I'm just being head in the sand, eternal optimist, but I really feel like when this defense is at full strength, you're going to say to yourself, not bad. You're going to say this is actually a pretty decent, pretty solid unit. That's my take. When they're hurt, obviously, it's going to be up and down. You would think next week against Carolina, they should be able to repeat this performance. Eagles are about to lose finally. I have been keeping my eye on that game, and you know what? The Eagles, they are down to the nitty-gritty here, 4th and 7 at their own 29, losing at home to the Broncos, man. Look, I'm not going to speak too soon. Let me go ahead and knock on wood. I am not trying right now. Not trying to jinx this one. Let's see if they can get it done. Oh, my goodness. That would be an amazing day. Cowboys win, Eagles lose. Hello. Let me see if I can get this one up on my iPad right now. I don't think they're showing it, unfortunately. What is it on CBS? Yeah, look, let me see if I can get it real quick. NFL Game Day. Okay, here we go. NFL Network's got it. All right, we're turning this on. We'll bring it to you the rest. 4th and 7. And it looks like there's going to be a PI. A PI that's going to give them first down. Come on now. PI, and now they got a first. We're finishing out the Eagles game right now, seeing if we can make this an amazing day. Yeah, they're going to be giving him a flag there for sure. Just watching the replay. Now it's getting interesting. 1st and 10 at the 29. We might have spoke too soon, Cowboys Nation. We might have spoke too soon. My goodness. Come on. Denver is selling right now, Brian. They better figure this out. Come on now. 1st and 10 at the 29. 3 seconds left. You got one play going into the end zone. Oh. They better not give up this touchdown. They better not give up this touchdown. There's no way. No way. We're holding our breath right now. There's 3 seconds left, Steven. 3 seconds left. Whoo! Come on. 2nd and 10, 29. We are praying for a hold. Hold strong, Broncos. Come on. Jalen Hurts, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Saquon, only 30 rushing yards. Broncos able to bottle up Saquon. Only 6 carries as well. Not sure what that's all about. Didn't watch the game, so haven't dug into the game script or anything, but Saquon, 6 carries for 30 yards. That just doesn't even seem right. All right, here we go. Hurts drops back. Oh, I thought there was – I'm watching the replay. I thought there was going to be a pickoff on that last one. I really did. And it looks like that is going to be it. That's going to be it. Eagles lose. And it has suddenly become a glorious day. It was a great day already. The Cowboys beat the Jets. And now it has become a glorious one. The Eagles lose at home to the Denver Broncos. Love it. Love it, baby. We got the Giants losing. We got the Eagles losing. And then what? Commanders play the Chargers? Oh, could we get a clean sweep? Come on, Chargers. Could we get a clean sweep today in the NFC East? Now we're talking. Clean sweep. All 3 rivals lose. Cowboys win. Yes, please. Yes, please. Denver beating Philly on the road. Impressive. Cowboys got the Broncos coming up. That is going to be a tough one. Very happy Sunday. Chris, couldn't agree more. Chargers, please. Please. Good for the Broncos, man. They are fired up, and I would be too. Eagles fans can't be happy about that one. They cannot be happy about that one. Eagles at one point were winning 17-3. Eagles at one point were winning 17-3. By the way, gutsy. So the Broncos scored with 7:36 left, and they actually went for 2. They could have kicked the extra point, made it 17-17, but the Broncos decided to go for 2. They get it, make it an 18-17 game. They kick a field goal to make it 21-17. Gutsy move there. Instead of tying it at 17 with 7.5 minutes left, you go for 2. We'll take it. The Fighting Sean Paytons get it done. Love it, baby. Absolutely love it. Well, hey, look, it's been a good day already. We are still going strong. We're 25 minutes into the show, looking to go about an hour today. Hey, look, we're going to take all your guys' comments and questions along the way. We absolutely will keep you informed on games going on. We've got the Chargers and Commanders game kicking off. We'll keep our eye on that one for sure. Hope you guys will stick around and join us. We're going to give you a preview of the game next week against the Panthers. Panthers today, by the way, look, Chuba Hubbard, I know, was out. And so maybe you can't exactly hold today against them, but for what it's worth, Panthers today win 27-24. They beat the Dolphins, who continue to reel. I mean, look, you definitely had a big performance from Tua, 3 touchdowns, Waddle as well, but Panthers able to get a win without Chuba Hubbard. It's wild. Absolutely wild. I saw that they were winning, that the Dolphins were winning earlier. Panthers scored 14 in the fourth quarter. That's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible, man. Yeah, Miami fans definitely cannot be happy. You lose to the Panthers. And look, maybe that's why we were talking a little bit earlier on TikTok about the Panthers game being a trap game. Look, I still don't see it. I think the Cowboys are in a little bit of a better position than the Dolphins are. Dolphins are 1-4 on the season now. But look, can't take it lightly. Definitely can't take it lightly. I don't think the Cowboys will. I really don't. All right, let's flip this over to the Commanders game, if I can get it on. Raiders today. My goodness, that is ugly. The Raiders, dude. Wow, what an ugly game. All right, here we go. Commanders and Chargers. Let's get it. We got it set up on the iPad. We're cooking now. Game's just about to start. Commanders on the road. Jaden Daniels is back. He's playing today. Scary Terry is out, though. So we'll see if the Commanders' offense can get it done. Chargers are on the field right now. Dang, it is great. Cowboys dub, Eagles lose. It is a great Sunday. It's an incredible Sunday. Absolutely. Appreciate all you guys hanging out, man. We've already kind of recapped a few of the big-time performances. We're going to keep doing it throughout the show. Dak Prescott, 4 tutties today, 28 yards on the ground, 237 through the air, over 260 yards of total offense. He has been incredible this year, 127.4 rating. And I said it earlier, maybe it's going to be seen as a hot take for some people, but I would be very shocked if you can find 5 quarterbacks who have had a better start to 2025 than Dak Prescott, than Dakota Rain Prescott, baby. Look, I'm not saying he's now a top 5 quarterback if you go wide view, but I don't think there's 5 quarterbacks that have had a better start than him. And look, fair point here. Appreciate the comment, my guy. No O-line and still won. I mean, look, the O-line definitely is a question mark at this point. And you're rushing for 135 with Javonte Williams. Rob, the Philly loss was incredible. Like I said, this day just keeps getting better and better. Now, can the Chargers knock off the Commanders on Fox right now? We're watching that game. We'll continue to give you some updates as we are live here on the show. That would just make things even more incredible. I mean, look, it's early. It's early. I mean, look, I don't want to start the MVP stuff yet, although I appreciate your spirit, my guy. I don't want to start that yet. I don't think you're going to find 5 quarterbacks that have had a better start to 2025 than Dak. He has been on fire to start this year, just absolutely on fire. And a big reason why the Cowboys are now 2-1, an opportunity to go next week to Carolina and get that winning record. You'd love to see it. Cowboys got to take advantage of these matchups coming up against some opponents that you definitely can win against. Look, you're going to have some tough ones. You've got the Broncos coming up. You've got the Commanders. You've got the Cardinals. You've got some tough opponents coming up. I don't think any of those 3 games after the Panthers games are foregone conclusions. I think the Cowboys can win 2 out of 3 of them. I would be really surprised if they ran the table and went on a 5-game win streak. But you never know. It's a crazy game. That's why you got to play it any given Sunday. But I think if the Cowboys can go 3-1 over their next 4 games, that would be pretty impressive. 2-2, I think, look, okay, maybe slightly disappointing. If you go 2-2, that means you beat the Panthers most likely, and you only beat one of those 3 next teams coming up. 3-1 is really what they should be able to accomplish. Dak is just a deke and dunk quarterback. He's far from an MVP. Dude, he has had what are you talking about? Have you even watched the games? Come on, baby. Really? I mean, last game, you watched him absolutely dot a ball to George Pickens down the sideline. He had a 43-yard touchdown pass to George Pickens today. I don't even understand the dink and dunk. You're just not watching the game. I mean, you could just say that. Just say it. You're not watching. I have no clue how you could come away from the last two games and say Dak is just dink and dunk. Don't understand it at all. But okay, you do you. Some people, you're just not going to be able to change their minds about Dak. And look, Dak has not done himself any favors in the playoffs, but let's not slander the man. He's not throwing screen passes every single down. I know he had a screen touchdown to Fergie today. Ferguson, 2 tutties, 49 yards, 7 receptions. Look, he was on, and he and Flournoy were the 2 targets today. George Pickens only had 4 targets all game long. Clearly, the Jets wanted to take him away, but Flournoy, Ferguson, 18 total targets between the 2 of them. They stepped up today in a big way. Dak's slinging the ball right now. He's throwing it deep. He's doing what he needs to do play by play. He's commanding the offense. Again, I don't think there are 5 quarterbacks that have had a better start to 2025 than Dak Prescott. Yeah. John, blessings to you, my guy. You could just say you're a Cowboys hater, and we would all get it. But just go ahead and keep on commenting. You'll make yourself sound smarter and smarter. Just say you're a Cowboys hater. That's all you got to do, buddy. But keep commenting. Keep commenting, my guy. Boost those engagement numbers. Again, just make yourself sound smarter and smarter than you're already making yourself out to be. Appreciate it. Offense not close to healthy, and Dak still putting up numbers. That's the point, right? Dak does not have his number one weapon. CeeDee Lamb is the best offensive player. I mean, if you're going to make it a Dak CD argument, okay. But beyond Dak, I mean, it's clear CD is your number one option on offense. Javonte Williams making a case, that's for sure. But CD, not having him, and Dak really not missing a beat. I mean, look, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but I absolutely felt like this Cowboys offense still, even without CD, had too much going for it to fold and just look anemic. You still have Dak. You still had George Pickens. You still had Ferguson. Javonte Williams was running well. I really felt like this offense was still going to be able to put up points even without CeeDee Lamb. Even without CD. And they've done that so far. You can only hope that it continues. By the way, CeeDee Lamb injury update. Obviously, he did not play today. I wonder what the latest prognosis is going to be on that. Let's see. When will he be back? He could return in week 6 against the Panthers. Wasn't placed on IR, so maybe CD plays against the Panthers. We'll see. Chris, appreciate you sharing the live, man. I will say, Alan, appreciate all the comments, man. You're awesome. Wait until Blue gets comfortable. I definitely like Blue, and it's been one game, so maybe we're knee-jerking here, being a little too reactive, but I like Blue and what I saw from Blue today a little bit better than what I've seen from Sanders. I don't know. I know Blue only had 4 carries, 7 yards. I do really think that Blue, once he gets a little more comfortable, is going to be a solid back for us. Keep on going. Hey, God Warrior, go Cowboys, baby. Appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. Kobe, that's what I mean. That block he picked up, like, again, when he gets more comfortable, I know the stats today did not really do him justice, but there were a couple of plays today you were like, okay. I don't know. I just like what I'm seeing from him a little bit better than what I've seen from Sanders. And I know Sanders, really, the first impression, he fumbles. It's a big fumble in the Philly game. I can't say I'm still holding that against him, but I just feel like when Blue really gets his feet under him, that is going to be a two-headed monster. I think Williams is obviously the primary back, and he's going to continue to get those reps. But having a guy like Blue, having another guy you can confidently throw in there is everything. By the way, in this Chargers-Commanders game, former Longhorn Cameron Dicker on to kick a field goal here. And he is going to boot that one right through the uprights. Flag on the play, though. Commanders and Chargers playing in LA today. Let's see what this flag's all about. We're going to bring you some updates as we try and go for the clean sweep. The Cowboys beat the Jets 37-22 today. The Eagles lose 21-17 to the Broncos. The Giants lose to the Saints. And now we are going for a clean sweep. Looks like offside, so or maybe we're going to get a first down for the Chargers here. Biggest difference between Blue and Williams is strength, Todd. I like that. Very, very good observation. I totally agree with you, my guy. Thank you for the comments. Blue is, Gonzalez, you're saying it too. He's just a more physical back. I think that's what doesn't show up in the box score. That's what doesn't show up in the box score. A lot of box score cherry picking that goes on when it comes to NFL and NFL commentary. When you watch the game, what y'all just said 100% came out today. Just the physicality of Blue. It was something that we were lacking. You had Williams, obviously, just totally killing it. But look, in the NFL, you need more than just one dude in the backfield. You do. You cannot run Javonte Williams every single down and expect for him to still be good for you in a 17-game season. So, Blue coming on strong? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Allen, if that happens and Williams and Blue are like Gibbs and Montgomery, that'll be something. By the way, the Chargers score a touchdown. They go up 6-0. Lab McConkey with the red zone reception in the end zone. Justin Herbert, first touchdown pass of the day. And the Chargers are going to take an early lead here. Oh, can we get a clean sweep in the NFC East? You would love to see it. You'd love to see it. Rob G, too soon. Too soon, Rob G. My guy, come on. Come on. Longhorns were straight booty yesterday. They were not good yesterday. Arch Manning got a lot to learn. I'm not bailing on him yet. You guys know if you've watched the show long enough, you get to know me a little bit. The last thing I'm going to do is overreact and bail. But I will say this. It hasn't looked pretty against actual competition. It's got to be better. It's got to be better. Chargers, you would think after losing to the Giants, they are going to come out today and have a really good game. I mean, you guys know how I feel about that. And look, honestly, Rob G bringing up the Longhorns, it's a reason why I think that Texas is going to surprise some people on Saturday. I think you've got a lot of people preying on the Longhorns' downfall and, just automatically saying they're going to get stomped by OU. I say not so fast. It's a rivalry game, first of all, but you've got a team that should be motivated after getting embarrassed on national TV. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. That game is going to be fun, though. That is one, Rob G, I'm worried about in Georgia against the Bulldogs. That's going to be a tough one for sure. That is going to be a tough one. Appreciate all the comments. Thank you so much. YouTube, we'll get over to you guys. Somebody on YouTube says Cowboys are going 14-2-1. Dak's the MVP. Love the energy. Love the energy. Natalie, I don't think he's on the trade block. I'd be really surprised if Marcus goes anywhere. Tony, what's good, man? How about them Cowboys? And Lamb might be back next week. I think he'll either be back next week or for the Broncos game. I wouldn't be surprised if they hold out Lamb for the Panthers game. Look, we're not taking anybody lightly, but I think that they could probably beat the Panthers without Lamb. I wonder, unless Lamb is absolutely 100%, if they say, dude, let's give you one more and get you fresh for the Broncos game. We'll see what happens. Jerry, thanks for showing up, buddy. Did you just finish up with the post-game media presser? You just finish up, and now you come to Ride on Rangers Live. I love it, baby. Appreciate your dedication to the show, my guy. Jerry Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry says we're Super Bowl bound. Very on brand of you, Jerry. Very on brand. Oh, man. You told him that you were right about trading Micah, too. My guy. My guy. Carlos, that is right. Rico Dowdle, the lead back for Carolina with Chuba Hubbard out. Rico Dowdle, is he going to wreak some havoc on the Cowboys, his former team? We'll see what happens. Rangers should swap Simeon for some youth. I don't think anybody's going to take that contract, my guy. I hope Leiter keeps improving, though. CSS, thanks for the comment, man. Appreciate it. Don't like George Pickens. Nah, we've sung George Pickens' praises multiple times. I said when CD went down, I actually felt really good about the Cowboys' chances of still being very solid offensively because of having George Pickens. George Pickens has been great to start the year. Obviously, he did not, 100% dominate today's game. He had a really great touchdown, 4 targets, though. Wasn't necessarily the feature guy today, but I think George Pickens has been outstanding. Lewis, I don't know if I would say as good as Lamb, but I think he's close. I mean, look, Lamb said it. I mean, he's a number one option. He can be a number one option depending on the team he's on. I don't think he's better or as good as Lamb. I think that might be a little bit too far, but he's up there. I definitely am a George Pickens fan and think he is probably next year going to get paid by somebody. Maybe it's the Cowboys. Maybe it's somebody else. Definitely happy for Ferguson as well. Polo, appreciate the comment. Take the Rico Dowdle overs. Shoot. Like, seriously. Seriously. Hey, CSS, appreciate the gift, man. Thank you so much for the generosity. Look, there are times when we definitely present our takes on different things and do some monologues and things like that. But a lot of the time I like to spend on the show just going back and forth with people talking ball. I get to as much as I can. Y'all are a little too rapid fire for me at times. Like I always say, if I'm missing something, if I'm passing up your comment, please keep posting it. I really try hard not to duck anything. I mean, look, I got to pass up the trolling. I mean, it would be impossible for me to get to every single one of those, but anything of substance, I'm getting to. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Busch Gardens, go Dallas. Go Cowboys, man. We'll take whatever wins we can get at this point. I'll take some wins over the Panthers and over the Jets, please. By the way, the Commanders are going to punt here. So Chargers are going to take back over 8.5 left in the first quarter. Move on from Trayvon, or do we give him one more year? Look, I said it in a reel that I put out earlier this week. If Trayvon Diggs could somehow rediscover 2021 mode, or even like something close to it, if we can get Trey Diggs even in the same field, in the same ballpark as 2021 mode, that would be a huge difference maker for this defense. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'd love to see it. I truly hope Trey Diggs finds a way. He looked great flying around last game against the Packers, man. Nearly had an interception that got negated by a flag. Made what I think was probably the game-saving play down there deep in Dallas territory on that screen pass, flying up to make that tackle for a loss of 3. That changed the complexion of that Green Bay offensive series. I think Green Bay probably scores a touchdown if Diggs does not make that play. I'd love to see Trey Diggs rediscover his old form or just even get a little close to it. Would love to see that. MV Prescott, baby. Look, if he keeps putting up these numbers, he's going to be in the discussion. He nearly won an MVP a couple of years ago. He's going to be in the discussion. And every game that he plays well without CeeDee Lamb is just more brick upon brick, layering up the evidence for MVP. It really is. When you look at these games where he didn't have CD and still performed at a high level, still put up numbers, still commanded this offense, it's only going to help that MVP case when the voters look back and realize he put up numbers even without his number one option. It's impressive. It really is. Handling a bad team with all the injuries we had and being an underdog is something to be proud of. Look, I've said it a bunch of times. I know that you're going to get the trolls coming in saying, yeah, but it was the Jets. Look, fair, but we were an underdog coming into this game. Vegas had us as plus 1.5 dogs today. You know the Cowboys saw that, by the way. Vegas had us as underdogs today. You had multiple injuries. You can only play who's in front of you. And the Cowboys took care of business today. What else do you want them to do? I mean, clearly there weren't going to be a lot of people shocked if Dallas lost today. I don't think anybody would have been surprised. A non-Dallas fan definitely always is preying on the downfall of the Cowboys. I mean, look, I felt pretty confident they were going to win today. I felt like the showing against Green Bay, you saw something. I think you saw something click there. This team can hang, man. They were one drive away from beating Philadelphia. One drive away from beating Philly. They lost 24-20 game one in Philly. One drive away from making it happen. And if CeeDee Lamb doesn't forget how to catch a football in Philadelphia, they might just win that game outright. This is not a slouch team. I know everybody likes to clown on this team. I know everybody likes to hate on this team. This team has played a number of really good teams close. I think the Chicago game was a bit of an anomaly with the offense. And look, even in that Chicago game, I still say losing CeeDee Lamb in the middle of the game after you had prepped all week to feature him in the offense is tough. There's not like an ultimate excuse for losing. I'm really not on that page ever as someone who tries to really objectively analyze the game, even though I'm a diehard Cowboys fan until I die. Like, I really do think it is tough mid-game to adjust the entire offense when you lose your number one option. Chicago, they've had some good games this year as well. I think the Chicago game offensively was a bit of an anomaly when you had zero prep time to suddenly make somebody else the number one feature in the offense when CD goes down. I don't think, by the way, they are going to be handing the ball off to CD very much anymore. Am I right? I do not think they are going to be handing the ball off to CeeDee Lamb a whole lot. If I had to guess, just going out on a limb, I think they might be scrapping some of that from the playbook. Look, Javonte Quito definitely has become one of the feature guys. I think my point, me talking about Lamb being the number one option, going into the Bears game, Lamb was healthy. He obviously was the number one offensive option going into that game. That's why they were trying to hand him off the ball. That's why they were trying to get him the ball in whatever way they possibly could. My point on the Chicago game is you had to make an adjustment middle of the game. All week long, you're prepping for a Lamb-heavy offense, and suddenly you have got to pivot. Look, the great coaches can do it. Shoddy, still a little green. He's clearly got a lot of coaching experience in the league, but it's tough. You lose your number one option. It's tough to make perfect adjustments. Hawaiian Girl, appreciate the comment. I would love for them to re-sign Williams. My buddies and I were actually talking a couple weeks ago. Like, hindsight's always 20/20, but man, you would have loved for them to have given Javonte a 2-year deal. It hurts that bro is going to be gone after this year, and you're probably going to have to pay the man in order to keep him, and I don't know if the Cowboys are going to do that. Pickens, I would probably be in favor of re-signing. Running back is so volatile. A guy can have a great year, and then the next year, it just all goes downhill. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Javonte, but I think if you got to pick between the two, go give Pickens a deal. You can reload at running back another way. I wouldn't mind if they brought Javonte back, but I think that it is going to be tough. He is probably going to want to get paid after a season like this. I can only imagine. Blue does look nice, Trey. 100%. Just a physical back. Pickens gets paid. Tag J. Will. I could see that happening. Appreciate the follows, by the way, Zach. Appreciate the follow. Yeah, I mean, dang, exactly. Went toe-to-toe with the Packers. Like, that's all without CeeDee Lamb. That's all without CeeDee Lamb. Aaron, I'm good exactly where I'm at with my choice of college to cheer for, my guy, but I appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate it. Hey, A&M ended up taking care of business last night. look, we'll see how they end up the rest of the year. Longhorns got to figure some things out. Hook 'em horns, baby. Hook 'em horns. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Thank you so much. Sign Javonte. He is different. Look, I love Javonte. I'm not trying to hate or troll or anything like that. Don't get it twisted. But you guys know, we saw this with Zeke Elliott. You saw how quickly it can change with the running back. Zeke was right in front of our eyes, and we watched this. We got real-life experience. We saw how quickly Zeke fell off. I just don't know, Javonte Williams, if you want to pay him a bag at this point. Javonte, let's dig into it a little bit here. I mean, you're talking about a guy that is, 20, he'll be 26 years old next year. Definitely not old. I think he still has a few really, really good years left. I absolutely think that he could be a guy that you re-sign. I just wonder, with what the Cowboys have done the last couple of years, they didn't pay Rico Dowdle. They've let other guys walk. They let Pollard walk. I just don't know if they are going to be willing to sign a guy like Javonte to a big-time deal based on what they've done in the past with their running backs. Look, maybe I'm dead wrong on this, but I'm not saying they shouldn't sign Javonte. I just say past history, recent history. I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be willing to pony up for him. We keep on going. Hey, appreciate it. Go Cowboys, absolutely. Wilson Super Bowl bound, of course. We're going to the Super Bowl, baby. No, look, I'm sure there are some Cowboys fans saying that. I think the Cowboys can make the playoffs. I really do. I've said I see this team at this point finishing something like 9-7-1. I think you might see this team go 8-8-1. I don't know this team gets to 10 games with the tie. I could see 8-8-1. I could see 9-7-1. I don't think the Cowboys make it to 10-6-1. I would be really impressed if they do, but I think realistically 8-8-1, 9-7-1, that would be my prediction right now. If you're asking me, what do I think the Cowboys are going to go this season? I don't know that I'm willing to say 10 wins. A lot's going to have to go right for us to get to 10 wins. You guys tell me, drop your record prediction. What are we going this year? What's going to be the final record? You guys drop that in the comments. I'll read out some. I just think 10 wins is going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough. We only bring up we only bring up Super Bowl for fun, man. We're just teasing. Obviously, that's the cliche when it comes to Cowboys fans. That's a stereotype. After every win, we all think they're going to the Super Bowl. Look, we do have some reasonable takes on here. Clearly, we're going to have some fun now and then, and that's pretty much every show, by the way. But, yeah, I'm not proclaiming a Super Bowl victory after this one. We won, Philly lost, absolutely. BK, appreciate you. 12-5? I don't know if 12-5 is going to happen. Well, it couldn't be with the tie. You'd have to go you'd have to go 12-4-1. I don't think that's happening. 11-5-1. I don't think that's happening. I think the absolute ceiling is 10-6-1. I think that is the absolute ceiling. I would be really surprised if they get to 11, Chris. I love the optimism. But I would be really surprised if they get to 11, man. I think 10-6-1 is the absolute ceiling for this team. I really do. I think they can get to 10. I don't think they get to 11. I'd love to eat a big old plate of crow, but I just think 11 is going to be really tough with some of the teams that you look at that the Cowboys are going to be playing. If the defense really starts becoming a solid piece, a solid unit, I think that maybe that can change, but I still say 10 feels like the ceiling. 10-6-1 feels like the ceiling. And by the way, that would be a really solid year, I think, for the Cowboys. Look, if the defense gets together, 11, maybe. I'm not willing to go to 11 yet. I got to see another couple of weeks before I even start thinking about the 11. Break down the schedule. Actually, love that. And we're getting close to the end of the show anyways. This is a good opportunity. Let's break down the schedule. Absolutely. Great call, by the way, my guy. Great call. Thank you so much for all the comments, guys. All right, so next week, Panthers. And look, I'm just going to go rapid fire. You guys know from week to week, I'll break down the matchups. And I usually am pretty straight with, hey, look, I don't feel super confident about this one, or I feel like it's going to be a win. Now, look, the reels that I put out, I'm always going to try to frame it how the Cowboys can win. 5 reasons why the Cowboys can get a win. I love doing videos like that. I'm never going to waste my time making a reel predicting a Cowboys loss, but I'll be honest with you guys on the lives when I think a game is going to be tough. And so we'll go through and I'll give you guys the breakdown. So we've got Panthers, we've got Commanders, we've got Broncos, we've got Cardinals. I think they beat the Panthers. I think they beat the Commanders. I think Broncos on the road could be a loss. I think that's going to be a tough one. Broncos on the road, playing at altitude against a really good Broncos team. I think that one could be an L. And I think that they can beat the Cardinals. I think they beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football. So where are we at? We're at Panthers win, so 3-2-1. Commanders win, 4-2-1. Broncos 4-3-1. Cardinals 5-3-1. Raiders 6-3-1. I think they could be 6-3-1 after the Raiders. I think that could easily happen. I think they get revenge on the Eagles, 7-3-1. I think the Chiefs and the Lions games could be losses, which would put them at 7-5-1. I think they beat the Vikings, 8-5-1. I think the Chargers game could be a loss. That one I think is going to be a good game. Let's say 8-7-1. I think that they might lose to the Commanders in week 17. That would be 8-1, or excuse me, that would be 8-7-1, and then I think Giants 9-7-1. There you go. Could they win a few in there? I don't know. I think they can beat the Eagles. They almost did in Philly. So I don't think that's a hot take. Look, I tried to be as fair as I could. I think 9-7-1. I think right now you're at 2 wins. I think Panthers, Commanders, I think you get 1 against them. Cardinals, Raiders, I think they beat the Eagles. I think they beat the Vikings, and I think they beat the Commanders. I think they beat the Giants. That's 7 more wins, which would put them at 9-7-1. That's my prediction. KC, look, some of these could go either way. I think my predictions, though, have us coming out at 9-7-1. Would love to be wrong. Look, I'm not invested in what I just did at all. I'm not invested in it. I'm giving you rapid reaction. If I'm wrong, I'd love to be wrong. I would love if every one of those games was a win and we go 14-2-1. Would love it. But look, I mean, I'm not thinking that any of these games are impossible. I think the Broncos game is going to be tough. I do think the Lions game is going to be tough in Detroit. I don't think we're going to sweep the Commanders. I think we probably lose one of the two against the Commanders. I would be shocked if we lose to the Giants the last game of the year. I think that the Chiefs game and the Lions game, the Chiefs game I think is also going to be a tough one. And I think the Chargers are a great opponent too. All the games that I said, I think we can at least agree are not going to be cakewalks. Would I love for the Cowboys to win them? Absolutely. Next 6 games, we're in trouble? I wouldn't say that. The Panthers? You think we're in trouble against the Panthers? Look, the Broncos is going to be tough. The Commanders, I'm not thinking Commanders is some extremely difficult matchup. Is it evenly matched? Yeah. I don't think the Commanders are some vaunted to-be-feared opponent. I think the Cowboys can go toe-to-toe with the Commanders. I think Broncos will be a tough game. And I think the Lions game will be tough. And I think the Chargers game will be tough. And going to D.C. Week 17 against the Commanders, I think will be difficult as well. This is crazy. All these different channels that these games are on. Paramount Plus, Prime Video, Netflix. pick a lane. It does get old having to have all of these different channels. Look, I know some of y'all do the streaming thing, so I'm sure I sound like an old man. Get off my lawn, but this is stupid, man. This is getting dumb. All these different channels that you got to watch these games on. Javante's going to go off on them. Justin Fields, Jacob, Justin Fields is, yeah, he's something. He's something. We keep on going. S-Dot, that's what you got to have to do. I mean, look, we've all got our ways to watch the games when needed. Like I said, I know I sound like an old man, but man, do I like it when it's just simple. Let's turn on the TV, find it on Fox, ABC, whatever, ESPN. The Netflix thing, whatever. I know it's all about money. 30-second defense, we're cooked. I think the defense is going to be better. I really do, once more guys get healthy. S-Dot, I get it done. Like, I'll do the VPN and get the stream going myself if I have to, but I just prefer not to. That's all I'm saying. Worst defense in football? No. I would not. I would say no to the worst defense in football. Bottom 5, probably at this point, yes. Worst defense in football? I would say no. And I know the numbers, the stats may tell a different story. I don't think it's the worst defense in football. We totally disagree on KC and Lions. Chris, I just think Lions on the road is going to be tough. I really do. I think Lions on the road is going to be tough. Lewis, 8 or 9 wins. All right. Think the Eagles will beat you. I see the rest of the way it goes, like you said. Yeah, I think Eagles at home will definitely be a great game. I do think that there is a solid chance Cowboys could walk away with a close win. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. It really is. I think the Cowboys definitely can end with a winning record. You're going to have some tight games. You're going to have some tough games. I think the Cowboys can pull it off. I think 9-7-1 is probably where I fall. 9-7-1. Keep on going. Flournoy was definitely our secret weapon day, 100%. Jays are killing the Yankees. I've not looked, y'all. Obviously, I love baseball, but I got to be honest, I am not locked in quite yet. Once football starts getting over with, like for the weekend, I'll probably start diving into more playoff baseball. But right now, it's 5-0. Yankees are just falling apart. Shoot, the Yankees were my World Series pick. I said Yankees, Phillies. I didn't say who was going to win. I thought Yankees, Phillies, World Series. Not looking like I'm going to be right. Yankees, 5-0. Jeez. Okay, look, I'm not crying about it. I don't mind seeing the Yankees lose. Texas Rangers, new manager. That's exciting. Now we got to see what they do in the offseason. S-Dot, really? That's a good debate. I would not rather watch Jets-Browns than Game 7 of the World Series. You would probably not catch me doing that. I mean, look, maybe if you insert 2 better teams in there, but no. Jets-Browns, I will not be watching that over Game 7 of the World Series. That would be a negative Ghost Rider for me. Negative. Will Chiefs beat the Jags? Is that who they're playing? The Chiefs are playing the Jags? I don't know. I think Chiefs, Jags, yeah, I would be shocked if the Jags win, but maybe they will. Chiefs look pretty good against, I know the Ravens were obviously hurting a little bit with Lamar. I would be surprised if the Chiefs drop a game to Jacksonville. They can't go 11-5 MVP because of the tie. They can go 11-5-1, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, they can go 11-5-1, obviously, but I don't know. 11 seems like a lot. 11 seems like a lot. We'll see what happens. Frankie, yes, sir. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Thank you so much. Look, we have got a couple other games still going right now. We've been kind of giving you some of the updates on the Commanders Chargers. Chargers up 10-0. They have the ball again, and they are driving. Looks like actually they just got the ball at their own 14-yard line. Lions are beating the Bengals 7-0. Bucks up on the Seahawks 13-0. Cardinals are punishing the Titans. My goodness, the Titans are bad. One of my best friends and I, we always do Survivor football. And this week we were on the Cardinals in one of our entries, and we were on the Colts in another one of our entries. So, Austin, I'm sorry, my guy. I'm sorry. My buddy and I in Survivor, we were on the Colts today, and it was very much a no-sweat weekend, and it looks like the Cardinals are making it even more so, up 21-3 right now. I love Survivor football, by the way. My best friend and I, we won it, I want to say 3 years ago. We won the whole thing. First time I'd ever won Survivor football. It was awesome. I'll never forget the Bills, how we won. You guys might remember this game. The Bills were in Jacksonville, and the Bills lost to a really bad Jaguars team. And everybody in our Survivor League was on the Bills that was left, and we ended up cashing it. I think we picked somebody else just to be a little contrarian, and it ended up working out, and we won the league. It was sweet. It was sweet. Football, you would think Survivor football would be easier. It's really not. The NFL is just so crazy week to week. It really is. Lamb comes back maybe next week. We'll see what happens there. MVP, I agree with you. It is a crazy year in the NFL, no doubt. No doubt. Hey, look, I appreciate all you guys. Next week in Carolina, at Carolina for the Panthers game. Should be a good one. Hopefully the Cowboys build off this week. That game we will be bringing to you live in the fourth quarter and also post-game analysis as well. Looks like that is another 10 a.m. game, so we're going to do it about the same time. Fourth quarter-ish, maybe 10 minutes or so left. That's usually what we shoot for, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then we go live, obviously stay live after the game is over for post-game analysis. And then those of y'all that have noticed the background, Rangers. We do a little off-season Rangers show every Wednesday. If you're an MLB fan or a fan of the Texas Rangers, every Wednesday we talk Rangers off-season. We'll talk a little MLB playoffs as well. And anytime anything big comes up Texas Rangers-wise, any big off-season news, we will go live, do a little emergency show, and talk about all of the latest and greatest going on in the Rangers world. Also on Saturdays, college football. We were live yesterday, unfortunately, for the Longhorns getting their butts kicked by the Florida Gators. Red River rivalry game will be next week against Oklahoma, so we will be live on Saturday to talk college football. So you'll also see a few videos come out from us here and there throughout the week, some TikToks, some shorts, some reels, all that good stuff. So appreciate you guys giving those a like. Thank you so much to all of my paid subscribers on TikTok, paid members on YouTube. A lot of ways to support the show. I know a few of y'all have given gifts throughout, both on YouTube and on TikTok. Thank you so much. We don't take any of that for granted. You want to take your support of the show to the next level, consider a subscription. It's $2.99 a month. We'll get you onto our exclusive Right on Rangers Discord channel. One of the main perks, priority replies in the lives and in videos as well. Thanks for considering it. No hard feelings either way. Tons of ways to support the show. But again, bottom left corner, hit that subscribe button right next to the chat if you're on TikTok. And if you are on YouTube, we will drop the link for you guys in the chat to become a member on YouTube. And right after the show is over, we will get you into that Discord chat. It's great. Awesome community of people. Would love for you to be a part of it. Thanks for considering. All right. And I think that is just about it for our show today. Hey, Dallas Cowboys for life was good. Go Cowboys. Absolutely. Marvelous game for the Gators, that's for sure. Marvelous game for the Cowboys today, though. Patricia, that's what I'm going to have to focus on. 100%, that's what I'm about to have to focus on. Marvelous game if you're a Gators fan. Not so much if you're a Longhorns fan. That is for sure. Hopefully, Longhorns bounce back next week, but for now, let's focus on the positives. Cowboys get a win today over the Jets, and we are going for a clean sweep in the rest of the NFC East. Eagles lose to the Broncos today. Giants lose to the Saints. Commanders currently losing to the Chargers. It's already a pretty good day whenever the Eagles lose and the Cowboys win, but it would be even better if we could get that clean sweep in the NFC East. Let's get it. Gary, what's good, my guy? Thanks for hanging out. We are just about to wrap things up for the day. Appreciate all you guys. Hopefully to see you at some point this week, either for the Rangers show on Wednesday or next weekend for college football and NFL. You'll see us post a couple of videos throughout the week. Thanks for your support, watching, liking, sharing those. Means so much. Love what we do here at Right On Rangers. Love the Cowboys. We love the teams that we support here on the show. And rain or shine, we're going to be here. Rain or shine, no fair weather here Right On Rangers, y'all. And I'm glad there's some people out there that feel the same way. Hey, love you guys. Thanks again for the support. We're going to call it a day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a great week ahead. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Cowboys.